If you guys are looking for any cheap and reliable coins, check out mmopo.com. Use the code PINGU at checkout to get 8% off. Guys, welcome to Season 3, Episode number 3 of the Derby Crowd Life. And to start off this episode, we did find it quite difficult in the last episode, which is quite nice against Arsenal. We did lose 3-0 quite emphatically. I don't think we had a single shot on target, so yeah, it's going to be interesting to see. It was kind of the only difficult game we do have, though, in between now and the Manchester United game. So there's a good run of games now that we can potentially go through. Fulham, Sheffield United, Leicester, Villa, Blackburn, and even Wolves are kind of beatable. So yeah, I think we've got a decent run now to get some points, and obviously we should get the I'm not too sure when you get the Champions League group stage draw. I guess it's whenever the knockout stages of the qualifying are complete, and it looks like they're still going on with the likes of Celtic, Ajax, Porto. You know, there's big teams in here, and I think, yeah, so this is the playoff round, so I assume whatever these teams win, they go through, and then the groups are revealed. So first game is against Fulham, pretty easy opponents. In the last episode, if you did miss it, we did bring in a goalkeeper in Handanovic, obviously much better than Ramsdale in terms of stats, like 4 diving and 9 reflexes and 14 reflexes. And the other signing we did make was Gulam on a free, and I think that's a good. Basically, it means we can still use Lowe at left back. The pace is a bit of a concern with Gulam, but I think defensively he's perfectly fine. He's got good stats there, like good 80 sliding tackling and 77 standing tackling. 31 years old, obviously won't last too long, but I think just for the time being, well, you know, I don't really want to be spending a lot of money on a left back, really. So yeah, we're just going to go into some negotiations now. I've added a few players in between the two episodes, and majority of them are wingers. We've had the likes of Pavon, Ikone, and Aki Williams obviously can play out wide, Marcus Edwards, Kubo. Also, we've added Hervin Lozano here. Would cost us about 40 million. Obviously a very pacey winger with 93 pace, and pretty good shooting and dribbling stats. Obviously has the outside of the foot trait. So yeah, I think one of Lozano or David Neres would be a good shout. Obviously Neres is a couple of years younger, and well, they're both quite versatile, to be honest, so they're quite similar in a way. I think shooting wise they're about the same as well, so it's kind of, we'll see what kind of negotiations we can go for. We also have Leon Bailey here, good young winger from the Bundesliga, obviously by Leverkusen. Maybe, I think he is one of those players that will move clubs eventually, with his very good potential. Obviously speed, dribbler, flair, outside of the foot trait as well. Rafa from Atletico Madrid, 29 years old, which means he is about 10 million cheaper, but obviously won't grow in stats, which is, you know, the kind of downfall of it. But in terms of a player that's ready now, he's pretty good. Same with Wilf Zaha. I think Wilf would be a really, really good signing. Obviously Premier League proven, and can play either out wide or down the middle, so I think he's a good option. I think it's kind of between Zaha and Bailey, Neres and Lozano. Those kind of players are probably the ones I'm going to look at. We've also added Rafinha here from Rennes. He has actually gone to Leeds in real life, but obviously because of the database not being updated, he's still at Rennes. And yeah, I don't know, 50 million's quite a bit of money, but at 84 rated he is very good indeed. And yeah, he's obviously going to want to move to a club that's in the Champions League and probably still has a chance to grow a little bit, so maybe get into an 85. We do have Riyad Mahrez here. Now, he is 31, and the only downside of him is probably that sprint speed, but with such high acceleration, I don't think it'll be that much of an issue. I think he's still a quality player, you know, really good dribbling, crossing, shooting, and I'm kind of tempted to see what kind of price City want for him, and I'd be very interested to see if they could loan him to us. But I think that's about it. We've also added Richarlison here, just in case if Cabral does get sold. I think he'd be he's a very good option to have up front, of course, but would cost us towards the 80 million mark, so it would be pretty much all of our money. So I'm going to just see, can we approach the loan? No, unfortunately not, but he is, that says loans too, yeah, so he's on 12 months left. So I wouldn't mind going in for Mahrez if we can get him for like about 30, maybe just under. So the only downside of Mahrez is obviously that sprint speed, which is a bit of a shame, but I think in terms of a quality right winger, you didn't get much better than Riyad Mahrez. And I could always put a big sell-on clause, because he's I don't think that's going to be much of a factor on his next deal. So if I'm going for 22, obviously we did sell Ibe for 24. It'd be interesting to see if City, yeah, they've gone to 33, so it's under his value. But I think kind of meeting him somewhere towards the 23, 24 mark. I do need to put that selling clause back up, but we are getting towards actually a pretty good deal here. And what I can always do is negotiate the prices for one or two right wingers and then see who's actually the best value for money. So we're getting pretty close here. Like that, it's a lot under his value, and I understand that he's going to probably deteriorate in stats a little bit, but I think he's just such a good player, Mahrez, and obviously with those 5-star skills, it's not too much of an issue this year because you can train players, but I'm probably just going to stick at that. I think 24.5 is about, 10 million under his value is about the most I want to go for, and there we go, Pep has accepted that, so that's quite interesting to see. His wages might be a bit of a concern though. He is on 165 at Man City. If we can get him a bit closer to the, pretty much half price of those wages, then that'd be great. So I think just because I'm going to try and do a swap deal with Damari Gray plus a bit of money and see if we can get Heung-min Son done, because that would be the perfect. This is like the best possible option. Obviously he's worth 25. If we put on another maybe 30, because that goes up to 55, maybe 35, just to make it a little bit more convincing. And we've still got 30 million to spend, so if this deal does get accepted, unfortunately not, and they've gone to 113 million, I will put Fosu Mensah into this deal because he's one of those that I wouldn't mind losing, but it just seems like they're not interested in any of our players. I think if you do offer a player and they don't like that player, they'll put in a player that they do like. But yeah, Mendy does actually look quite good. And obviously it's a position that we can, I think we seem to be literally going through goalkeepers every single 6 months at the minute on this career mode. So I think for the time being we'll leave the transfers there just to see what the scout reports come back with. I don't mind that Mahrez deal at 24 million because it's kind of a straight swap for Jordan Ibe. It's really down to the wages of Mahrez. So we'll go into the game against Fulham. I think I'm almost tempted to put Lucas Vazquez in. Just because Mount's not really been doing that well, and we need to get a bit of form together. We did okay in the West Ham game, but I think, I don't know, he's a bit low on fitness as well. I'm not too sure why that is. He's only got 79 stamina, which isn't great, but I guess it means we can rotate the side a little bit more. Here we are then at Pride Park against Fulham. It should be a pretty easy game. I think we beat them twice last season. They do have Sat in goal, then Anthony, Robinson, Hector, Raya? I don't even know who that right centre-back is, to be honest. Kenny Tetty, Reed, Johansson, Vargas, Will Hughes on the right mid-position, Zaracho and Bobby Reed up front. It's going to be interesting how Hughes does against his former club. I do quite like this Fulham away kit, actually, the all yellow. It reminds me of Derby's like all white kit, but I've actually put Sibley in from the start since we are kind of looking to sell Vazquez. I have also put Ramsdale on the transfer list just because, he's worth about 30 million, so just to keep him on the bench is kind of counterproductive. But he isn't in the goal for this game because he did want to play it, so maybe it'll attract some buyers. Jason Knight with the ball here. Did score from a similar distance against Chelsea, but have I slipped it in the right time? Fortunately, is offside. It was nearly timed to perfection, and yeah, it would have been nice to get the first goal, of course. Chance to get on the counter-attack here. Can I slip it in to Cabral? I think he's onside. He is. I thought he was. I don't know why, but I genuinely thought he was offside there. But he gets his first goal of this Premier League season. It's taken him 3 games, if you count this one, of course, to get that first goal. So a bit of a slow start for him. I think he got off quite well last season, but I don't know how he wasn't offside. But apparently he wasn't, and does get his first goal of this Premier League campaign to end off the first half. Fulham on the attack here, and you can see the difference when you get into a certain stage of the game and they really put the pressure on him. Here's a good save from Ramsdale there, and I'm kind of thinking of maybe playing, if he keeps a clean sheet I'll keep playing Ramsdale, but I guess if he has a bad game it's kind of difficult to judge the goalkeepers really because it's not really their fault, but On to Cabral, back to Bird. Can we get this 1-2 going and get the second goal? Does shoot wide of the post, unfortunately, but we will make a few substitutions. We'll get Mount off the bench. I don't know, Cabral's definitely not hit the heights of last season. But as long as he does that in the Champions League, then maybe I'm not too concerned. I think we'll get Bakayoko on for Knight. Obviously, he's just a bit more defensive-minded. Chance here to slip Ings in. Oh, I didn't even see that centre-back drop back, of course. That's why counter-attacks are much more difficult. But Demarai Gray with the shot here into the back of the net to get the second goal and just to give us that cushion at 1-0. You never really want to be in that situation with 15 minutes to go. So to get the second goal from Demarai Gray, who's a good player, but I think if we're going to be in the Champions League, realistically, we need something much stronger. But a good ball from Mason Mount and a good first-time finish from Demarai Gray. Chance here for Hector in the box with the shot and off the post, and we do lose that clean sheet in the final minute, and it is the centre-back Michael Hector. It's literally the second we kick this ball, it'll blow. There you go. It's really frustrating how it does that now, but yeah, it kind of just shows how good they are. The computer is at shooting on ultimate difficulty, but yeah, we get the 3 points at home, so that's good to see. But yeah, Cabral, I don't know, he got the goal, but he's definitely not the player that he was last season, and I'm not too sure why. So we do obviously need to go into contract negotiations for Mahrez. What I'm kind of hoping for is if I can get him on a rotation role, it will drop those wages by quite a bit. So let me just see if we can try it, but yeah, he's going to want a crucial. He's an 84 rated player, it's kind of realistic. But I'm definitely not going to be paying him 165 grand a week. And we'll give him a 2-year deal because that'll get him to like 33, 34. So yeah, like realistically, what I want to offer him is 80k at the very most, because then, as you can see, we've only got 4k left in wages. So we'll go for something like this. And if he's not happy with that kind of wage, yeah, he's gone to 100k, which isn't a million miles away from 80k, I guess. I guess you just give him an extra bit of bonus in the signing on. I guess I'll go to 82k and see if that gets accepted. But no, it's not. So I think the finances of the deal are quite important. Obviously, a player that is deteriorating slowly. He's still good, probably for one season, but yeah, it's, in terms of an investment, I don't really want to be putting 25 million into a player that's going to be only usable for, you know, not too long. But we do have an offer here for Timothy Fosu-Mensah from Dortmund for actually quite a bit of money, and this could free us up and potentially get us that next caliber winger, if we can get the 36.5 million that they were looking at there. I could always do a player swap actually. What wingers do Dortmund have? Yeah, a straight swap for him would be great. But a bit more of a left winger though, Guerrero. I'm almost tempted to do a straight swap with Thorgan Hazard and see if that works. But I don't know if that will annoy him, because he's obviously quite a good player and probably would be worth more towards. I think if I just go straight cash, then it will just make things a lot easier. So we'll go for 36.6 million. I'll just take out the amount of money that sell-on clauses do. Obviously, in terms of future, it might be quite a bit, but most of the time, yeah, I don't really see the point of putting a sell-on clause when I'm trying to sell one of my players, because I'm just not really going to reap the rewards from it. We'll go for 35 on the dot. I guess it's, you know, it's much higher than his actual current value, and unfortunately, it does seem like compared to previous years, the strict negotiations in terms of selling players is much more difficult. But obviously, I don't want to just sell my player for, you know, like 5 or 6 million over his value. I want a good 10 million more. But we have got a few scout reports here. I do like the look of Weston McKennie because of just how versatile he is. At 79 rated, still pretty good. And I'd be almost tempted to convert him to like a right back or a centre back. I think he could very easily play those positions and would be a very good signing. We do have Galini here, good 81 rated goalkeeper, pretty similar to Ramsdale though. We do have Tyson here, who as a backup winger isn't actually a bad shout, but I think there's better options out there. So we do have a few players on international duty here. We got Mason Mount, Gray and Ramsdale all on England duty. Jason Knight to Ireland. Bielik and Jozwiak to Poland. Arthur Cabral to Brazil. Tom Lawrence and Roden to Wales. Nacho Fernandez to Spain. Handanovic to Slovenia. And the couple of youth players going to Bulgaria. Kind of shows shows how poor the Bulgaria international squad is. But yeah, I think we do need to look at potentially bringing in a right mid, but I'm just trying to wait and see on these final scout reports on these few players such as Pavon. I think Pavon would be a decent shout if he's... I don't think his wages would be too high, and we might be able to get him at a decent price. So yeah, I'm kind of just waiting to see what the prices are on some of these players. As you can see, Salvio's 32 but has got much better pace than Mahrez. The only issue he's got the injury prone trait, but would be about 15 million, so it's not a bad shout for Salvio. I do like the look of Weston McKennie for sure. It's just when we bring him in at 23 at 26 million, I think that's actually a really, really good price. So I think the Champions League groups have been revealed. So let's have a look and see what group we do fall in. We are in with Inter Milan, Benfica and Victoria Plzen. I think that's how you say their name anyway. And that's quite a tough group actually. Both Benfica and Inter, like really big teams in their division. So it's going to be very interesting to see. Like, I think that would have been a much nicer group. You know, Valencia's only like if we were Man United basically, to go into that kind of group with Valencia, Bruges, and Young Boys. That's a decent group again if we went in there for Real Madrid. But I guess we're the tier 2 when it comes to the draw. So like Inter Milan and the tier 1, we're tier 2, and then Benfica, I think we're in the qualifying. Yeah, there's no odd teams in this Champions League, which is good to see. Sometimes you see like proper random teams from some countries, but it does look very competitive indeed. So I'm a little bit concerned. Let me just see if there's any scheduled games on the calendar. Of course, we got Sheffield United. I always confuse the two Sheffield teams, but yeah, there you go. We do have both the big games first, which I'm kind of frustrated with because I would have loved this game first just to get the 3 points on the board. So yeah, we've got Benfica at home. We've got Manchester City in the Carabao Cup. What a horrible draw that is. So yeah, that when you think about it, we might have to look to play our second team against Aston Villa there, play our first team against City in the Cup, then play a second team against Blackburn, and then play first team against Inter. So yeah, I think basically doing what we've done with having two squads is actually quite good. So I think we'd be tempted to do something like that when it comes to the those games that aren't quite as big. Obviously, we can put the likes of Handanovic or Ramsdale in goal. I'm not too sure why this defence has changed up like that. I think Bielik didn't. Yeah, Bielik wasn't in this team before, but we put Gulam in, and then we switched the two, and then we'll go for something like that for the weaker games, which is still a pretty good team actually. It's not that bad, and I'm sure there'll be players from our first team that we can put into the second team. And as you can see, Max Bird has gone to an 83. Who else has grown? I literally just saw him. Jozrek's gone to an 84 as well, which is really, really nice to see. Would be nice to get those shooting and passing stats up a little bit more, but obviously still a very, very young player and can grow. Ooh, so Saka's worth 46. The problem is with Saka, he's obviously a Premier League player already, so I'd rather go for some more, I don't know, players that people don't particularly use that much. You know, I don't know if many people have signed Mbuemo on career mode saves so far, so I like to go for more versatile players. He has got 80 finishing as well, and he's 23, so I know he's lower rated, but I think financially he's a good one, Mbuemo, to look at. But Chukwueze's got 30. I think Chukwueze is actually such a good player. 23 years old. He's going to be at least like 77, 78 rated. So I think we'll go in for him at 30 million. We know what his value is, and that's basically all I need to know. So I think if we offer on the value, we still got 30 million plus, you know, that's another really good signing we can make. I don't think there's anyone I can put into these deals. I could put Ramsdale in, for example, and do a straight swap, but I don't know if they'd be that interested. As you can see, Gulam's worth 10 million, which is a good amount of money. We do have a number of centre backs. Obviously, I did send a Darabi out on loan, so it's really good to see Max Bird's up to like 62 million value. I don't think we'll ever sell him on this career mode. But what I will try actually is putting Vazquez into the deal. Plus 10. I think plus 10 is perfectly fine because that goes up to 32 million. And we'll see if they are interested in... See, Matt Clark's just one that just isn't on my list of players, but it's a really good deal. Like, it's just under 30 million actually. So it's a bit of a shame that we can't get this deal done. I'm almost tempted to try Rodon because he's similar, and I'm kind of happy to let Rodon go if it means we get Chukwueze for, you know, essentially a bargain buy. Because then it means we can keep Fosu Mensah and have a much stronger defence. I don't think there's anyone else we can really put into the deal. We'll try Joe Rodon and we'll add 5 million to this transfer fee, and that is a, you know, it's a kind of a bargain deal if we can get that done. Unfortunately we're not, but that is actually really, really close to what I'm happy to pay if we can get it to 21. You know, that's 9.5 million under his value. I'm sure that just went up. I'm sure they were offering lower than 24 before. We'll go to 22.5 and hopefully... I'm sure that might... They keep putting it up, don't they? I'm not going crazy there. We'll just knock it down by 1 million then, I guess. It's still under his value. And there we go. We have got the deal for Chukwueze accepted there. And he's exactly what I kind of need. You know, he's just absolutely rapid. Flair trait and speed dribbler. 4-star skills. Obviously, you get that weak foot up quite easily. And he's left-footed, which I quite like, because then it means I can cut inside, whereas Damari Gray is a right-footed right mid. Technically, he's a left winger. We converted him to a right mid last season, but yeah, I really like the look of Chukwueze, so if we can get this deal done, then that'll be great. We'll give him a crucial role, because he will be playing pretty much every game. 4-year contract's very good to me. And, you know, financially, this deal is actually really, really good. Because look at those wages. Like, comparing to Mahrez, who wanted... Was it 100? I think he wanted 100k a week. Whereas Chukwueze wants, you know, 35. It's actually such a good deal. And that's why clubs do sign players from abroad. And there we go. We do make our third signing of this transfer window. Permanent signing anyway. And he is 80 rated. And, you know, if you compare him to Damari Gray, who he is replacing, more pace, more shooting, more dribbling, more physical, and he's 3 years younger. So I think it's kind of a no-brainer of making that signing. It's a wonderful signing. I'm almost tempted to keep... I don't know, do I... I can either... Hopefully he's got the number 11. So we will put him on the development plan. I'm almost tempted to get him to 5-star skills, but... On the other hand, his weak foot is only 2-star, so that's not exactly great. So it's probably worth getting that up. At least 4-star skills is, you know, very usable. So really happy with that. It's a bit of a shame he doesn't have a player face, but again, I'm not that fussed for a player of this kind of quality. I'm not too sure what his fitness is like. Yeah, he's going to have to come off the bench. I don't know if we need both Ings and Batshuayi on the bench. Because I'm only ever going to sub on one, and I kind of do like Danny Ings, so we'll pop Batshuayi down here for the time being. And we still have Lucas Vazquez to potentially sell, and Ramsdale potentially. We'll have to wait and see. He did well in the last game, I guess. Do I play him against his former club? I guess we play him against his former club, Sheffield United. So let's go into that game now and see how we do. Hopefully Chukwueze can come off the bench and have a good impact. I guess Gray did well in the last game, but I think the potential of Gray is probably getting towards his max, whereas Chukwueze can easily get much higher as he is only 23. Here we are then at Bramall Lane against Sheffield United. They are playing a 5-3-2. They are obviously promoted from the Championship. They do have Verrips in goal, Ender Stevens, Baldock, Badishah, Brooks and Jack Robinson, then Camavinga from, is it Rennes? It's one of the French teams, and he's a really good career mode player with Alcaraz, Sanderberg and Simon Verdi and Bodu. I think that's how you say his name anyway. Yeah, we'll see how Chukwueze does off the bench, of course, and Bogle, Ramsdale and Lowe coming against their former clubs.
In the build-up to
Chance here through the middle. Can Joswiak get us off to the dream start? Yes, he can. Obviously, Ramsdale coming against his former club, and we do get the first goal there in the first 10 minutes, I'm pretty sure. And yeah, it's good to see Joswiak on the score sheet now that he's gone to an 84. Would be good if we can get Chukwueze quite easily growing. I'm pretty sure we'll be able to get over Gray's rating quite quickly, though. But good through ball from Mason Mount. Maybe he's not quite as a finisher like Vasquez, but then again, we've only played like 4 games, so I can't really judge Mount yet. But it's good to get a good start. Corner for Sheffield into the ridiculous goal from. I want to say it's not though, is it? Because it's not in. Who's got that goal there? It's Jonathan Brooks. For some reason, I wanted to say the striker, Gold. What's his name? David McGoldrick. What's his name? I can't even remember the Sheffield United striker's name. McGoldrick. There we go. But it is Jonathan Brooks, the American centre back, from the corner, and gets him level straight away. I'm quite surprised they scored that header, to be honest. Like a very rare occurrence. Monte Cabral here, back to Joswiak. Can he get the second goal of the game with the shot, but blocked by the goal scorer Brooks? Here's half time against Sheffield United. Then it's actually much tougher than I was expecting, which is good to see away from home, of course. I don't know if there's like a mechanic in the game that knows when you're starting the season versus when you're ending, and you need to get those points to basically get as high as possible. So like at the start of the season, I'll find games quite difficult. I don't know if it's just because I'm playing the game. I don't know, because I'm playing the game just as much. But like if this game was in the final month of the season, I would walk it. I'd find it really easy and get the 3 points. But because it's like one of the early games in the season, I don't know if it's just. I don't know if I'm overthinking it, but it just seems like that. On to Cabral on the edge of the box. Can he get the shot off though? He does take it now. Good save from the Dutch goalkeeper. Maybe could have done with a little bit more power on that shot, but opportunity to get a corner in, and if we could score from a corner, that would be great, because we haven't done one in quite a while. It's gone to Cabral's heading into the back of the net, and maybe we just have to take corners at Bramwell Lane to score from corners, because it's been such a long time. But Cabral is on the end of that one to get us the goal to make it 2-1 in the 55th minute. Good corner from Bird into that back post. Gets the right side of the defender, and maybe the keeper could have done a little bit better, but gets the second goal of the season. Ball inside here tonight. Can I slip in Chukwueze for his first shot of the game? And that's how you kick off your debut. I literally just made the substitutions. If you looked in the top left, yeah, we literally just went straight off the bench, and he has got his first goal for the club. Instant impact. Ball from Mount into Knight, and getting that cut inside run, which we don't see from Damari Gray, so really nice to see him score within 30 seconds of his debut. Chukwueze with the ball here, one defender remaining, and the difference in quality between him and Damari Gray is night and day. Jason Knight with the shot there, and it does fall to Danny Ings, the poacher, to make it 4-1 and to wrap up this game nicely. Good to get Danny Ings another goal, of course, and doing exactly what I signed him for, you know, to come off the bench and to score goals. Maybe we'll have to try him from the start in one of those second team games, but yeah, Chukwueze just feels unbelievable on that right hand side, and I can't wait to see how much he grows by. Chance here for Ings through the middle. Can we make it 5-1 in the box with the shot and in the back of the net? Really good finish from Danny Ings. I think it's got about 90 finishing, to be honest, and does get his second goal of the game to wrap this on nicely. There we go, full time against Sheffield United. We do win the game 5-1, very nice indeed, and a very good debut from Samuel Chukwueze, getting a goal within seconds, literally. I'd love to count how many seconds it actually was, and Danny Ings coming off the bench and putting in a really good performance. Transfer offer for Morgan Whittaker from Brentford, a player that obviously we haven't played in quite a while. I will just try and get that extra 300,000, because, you know, the more the merrier. But yeah, it's a bit of a shame, same with Bobby Duncan, that maybe I should have literally just played these in the Championship, and you know, it's just a shame that they do start such a low rating, of course. I'm not going to try and negotiate too much, and we'll just accept the 2.7 million for Whittaker. Yeah, it's such a shame. I've almost attempted to do like a League 2 career mode and have these young Derby players for that, and obviously you can use those throughout the pyramid. Thorgan Hazard has been approached by Chelsea, obviously his brother, but we have got a very interesting offer here from Bayer Leverkusen for Lucas Vazquez. They've offered 24. We can go up to 29.9. I think I'll just go for the 29. Whatever they come back with, I'll accept it, because he's one of those players that we don't need now. At 31, he's only going to go down in stats. So I'll go up to the 29, see what they come back with, and yeah, we'll just accept that, I think, because I don't want to mess about with these deals. I tried to mess about with the Fosu Mensah one, and it fell through. So there we go. We have got 24 million for Vazquez, which obviously makes Mount's deal look much more cheaper now, and he has gone to an 85 rate of play, which is good to see. It's kind of funny that we did sign Chukwueze when I've not even really tried Harrison. Obviously he's not as good, but I think it's kind of funny that he's already grown to 5-star skills, and I literally put him on the development plan when we started him at the start of this season. So yeah, we are about to go into transfer deadline day. I'm almost tempted to save it for the next episode, because then we can just get a bit more feedback and potentially see what we can sign. We have still got 40 million to potentially increase this team. I will put Handanovic back in goal just to get the overall rating up. And I don't know what we 100% need, to be honest. I'm just trying to think what we're kind of lacking. And obviously with that extra 24 million from Vazquez, we'll go up to 65 million. So I think signing somebody like really good is probably what we're going to look at, and maybe even a centre-back. That left centre-back position is one of those that, you know, we're kind of switching between Fosu Mensah and Clark. So I've just added a few centre-backs to the shortlist, which do look quite good indeed, and I think it's kind of the position we need to... I don't think we'll be able to get Klosterman because he did move in this window. Yeah, we've added... Also, Tomiyasu could do a job there. But Kimpembe is probably one of the better options we do have here. He is left-footed, of course, so would go into that left centre-back position quite easily. 90 strength and, you know, nearly 80 pace. Really good centre-back, of course, and very good defensive awareness, standing tackling and sliding tackling. We also have Ginter. We could bring it back to Mori, I guess. That's also one option we could look at. Because he's 24 and would grow. And that might be the play, because obviously he's going to increase in rating much faster than the likes of these players, and probably would cost us cheaper. So we've only really got two as an option. We've got Tamori or Kimpembe, and obviously Kimpembe is just much more of a higher quality centre back. But Tamori is that, you know, he's the OG Derby centre back that used to play here. I'm kind of tempted to go for Tamori just because of that. He's got a 29 million release clause as well, so I think we'll begin negotiations, try and get it below that 29. If we can't, we'll go into the buyout clause, of course. And what we can always do, I'm almost tempted to put Fosu Mensah into this deal, although they are the same age, and maybe Fosu Mensah will grow a bit more. Maybe put like a Rodin into this. It's just trying to balance the squad, of course, and trying to keep everyone happy. So we'll go for that, I think, with 12 million plus Joe Rodin, and see if Chelsea are interested. They are wanting Louis Sibley, a player that won't be going into this deal, so we'll remove him. Go up to the 22.5 value, and hopefully Chelsea do accept that. And there we go, that's been accepted, so that's good to see. You know, 22 million for Tamori at 24 years old. It's a really good deal. I will try and get Kimpembe just to see what kind of price. Oh, also Weston McKennie could go centre-back. I didn't think about that. I completely forgot about him. That would be one I'd be almost tempted. I'm going to try Weston McKennie as well, you know, because that is a quality player who I wouldn't mind bringing to the club. So I think what I'll do is I'll line up these deals, get your guys' responses, and see who you think would be best to improve our defence, of course. So I think I'll just offer what we offered Tamori and see if Juventus are interested in that kind of deal. Don't know why they've put... Why are you putting Jason Knight into the deal? It's just not going to happen, is it? We'll go up to 23 million. I guess it's an extra $500,000. But they are going towards 30. See, the wonders of the sell-on clause is we're probably not going to sell him because we may do 1 or 2 more years on this career mode. So it's kind of cheating, but at the same time it's kind of not because, well, it's in the game and you may as well use it. And there we go, we have done it for 25. So we've got McKennie and Tomori here, both lined up. And I would kind of like to try McKennie as a centre-back. Obviously he's not default there, but can easily be converted to that position. Kind of similar to Bielik in a way. I think that's quite a similar comparison. Both the same height. McKennie's just much more physical in terms of weight and does have 3-star skills. But the other player that I wanted to try is for Kimpembe. So they want 46. He's just the finished product, basically. That's what Kimpembe is. We'll offer the value, maybe even undervalue at 35, and it would cost us a little bit more, but obviously it just means we don't have to develop the player for this season. We'll go for that, and we can obviously look to sell Fosu Mensah. I'll even go down to 30 million on the dot, and that way it's just a little bit of a deal. Unfortunately, they're just sticking to their price, so we're going to have to end negotiations for Kimpembe. Is just slightly out of our price range. But yeah, let me know in the comments section down below when we eventually get there. Do I go for Weston McKennie or do I go for Tomori? In theory, I could probably get both, because once Vazquez money's come in, yeah, I could afford both really. So let me go. Do I sign one of these players or do I sign them both? And I think that'll be where we wrap up this episode, because I want to get your guys' response. I think Chukwueze's a brilliant signing at 23, massive potential, and can easily outgrow Gray within a couple of games. But yeah, I think that left centre back position, it's one of those that I don't mind Clark and Fosu Mensah, but I think I want somebody just as good as Bielik next to him. And as you can see, the defensive side, he's got 84 defending, and these have only got 80. So yeah, it would be nice just to go to that next level. So hopefully, guys, did enjoy this episode. Make sure you do leave some comments down below on whether we sign Tomori or McKennie. What was his name? I've completely forgotten the American's name. Yeah, McKennie. I don't know why I got confused then. Weston McKennie. So yeah, let me know in the comments what we should do in terms of these signings. And yeah, make sure you do leave a like rating if you did enjoy it. And see you soon. Bye.